And we are back. You are listening to IBGR.network, and IBGR as a call sign, as a radio station. But we are so much more than a radio station. We are actually a network of global entrepreneurs coming together to create a shared space for collaboration and business success. And I'm your host, Jan Roberts. I think I even forgot that at the beginning. I was so excited about Mindpower, but I'm your host, Jan Roberts, the inspirational entrepreneur. I'm also a global influencer, and today I want to influence you with some information and some tools and tips about the power of the mind. You are more powerful than you think. This is already session 8 in season 4, and come and join us. We're glad you're here. Bring in your friends, like and share it, and we will get this show for the second session on the road. Now, I said that there is 7 principles at the beginning, so I'm just going to briefly name them. I'll really talk into them throughout the rest of the sessions, especially number 3 and 4. But the subjects I'm going to briefly talk into, and there is so much more to this, but it is so powerful. Thoughts are real forces, and everything begins with a thought. I'll talk into that. The law of transmission. The mind is a sending and receiving station of thought. So when you put them two together already, then we get the law of attraction. We've all heard about that. Thoughts that are emotionalized become magnetized and attract similar and like thoughts. I just want you to remember that, and you can always play it back. The 4th one is law of control. We are forever experiencing thoughts, but we have the power and ability to either entertain these thoughts or dismiss them. I hope you're listening. The law of insertion. We have the power and ability to insert any thought of any type into our minds. If you're already confused, I think, whoa, that's a mumbo jumbo and that's out there. No, it's in there. That's exactly the problem. It's in there and we don't know it. Law of connection. The inner and outer worlds are connected. And then lastly, the law of momentum, the big Mo. The direction your thoughts are proceeding in any area of your life, including entrepreneurial and business life and social life and family life, will continue in that direction until something changes its trajectory. Does that make sense? Yes, of course it makes sense. But do we think about it? Never, or hardly ever, I'm sure. But this can be a turning point in your life. Now, I said can because I don't know whether you will implement what you learn in this session. Or if you just listen to it, think it sounds amazing, maybe a little bit out there, maybe a bit scary, and then you just carry on with your life as if nothing has changed. It's all about choices, and that's if you download the show notes, which Donna has put in there yesterday already. If you download the show notes, at the bottom of my show notes before my details and I put the name of the book of John Cahill there as well. It's Mindpower, and also Mindpower for children, because that's another powerful one for your children, how you can stimulate their power of their mind. Excuse me, but I always put in there. Knowledge is not power. It's how you implement it, and I give you some key points on how you should implement it and what you should do when you're implementing those kind of things. And this is no different. Choices, people, choices. So I already know that as you learn to use the power of the mind, every aspect of your life will be enhanced. Every aspect, by the way, because you heard it a minute ago. But you will be able to influence your situation, yes, even you, and achieve the goals you desire and deserve. And I will say that you deserve them because you deserve the best. Just let it get in here that you actually do. See, mind power can be your best friend or your worst enemy. The good news is you are in control. But the bad news is you are in control. See, become more aware of your own mind power. Let go of all the excuses. Then make better, more informed choices in your life and your business, of course. Now, I hope that makes some sense. And if you like this, like and share it with other people, because this is important to everybody, I believe. And that's why I'm in the people side, because I'm passionate about impacting people in a positive way. That's why it's about global influencing, an inspirational entrepreneur. It's not, I want to be inspirational per se, but I want to inspire you to do things for yourself because of some of the things you might hear that make some sense to you. It's still trying to make sense of all of this myself, but I mean, it is so powerful because you are more powerful than you were taught in school or anybody has ever made you aware of. It is your old limiting belief about yourself that has held you back. Now, even throw in a couple of negative friends and family, the news, the ever less interesting job situation, and your self-doubt is complete. Now, let me tell you a little story about Mindpower. And I don't know if you've ever heard this, but there was a woman, and you can probably still find that somewhere on whether it's on the internet somewhere. But there was a woman who was watching her husband working under the car. While she watched, the car jack collapsed, and the husband got trapped. She lifted the car with one hand and pulled, not completely off the ground, of course, but far enough to be able to pull her husband out from underneath. Now, you'd say, even listen to that, the car weighs about 1.5 to 2 tons, 2,000 kilos. That's impossible. Exactly, that's what the problem is with our limiting beliefs. And I learned this because of the coordination of mind and body, how much stronger we become in martial arts. But this is purely mind power, because at that point she didn't think about the weight of the car. She had one focus, and focused power is powerful. I mean, to look at the laser beam, that is power focused, energy focused at one point, how powerful that is. It can cut through all kinds of things. So she never thought about it. She knew what she had to do, did it, and then if she went back next day, she would probably never be able to lift that car again, because then the other stuff kicks in again. It separates again, and you get that. But the human mind, as intricate as it is, came without an instruction manual. Join me today on a journey of discovery, the journey to a better future, the journey of your mind. And the first one I mentioned was thoughts are real forces. Now, everything in the universe is energy. Your skin, anything you see behind me, the walls, everything you can think of is energy. The different densities mean that the energy vibrates at different levels. Now that should explain that a little bit. But everything, every invention begins with a thought. So recognize that every thought you think is a real force of energy. Strong thoughts are strong and focused real forces. So weak thoughts are, of course, scattered forces. Now, those weak ones happen when you're all over the place and try to do too many things at once. You know it yourself, multitasking they call it, and they still tell us that some say it works well, and women can do it much better, and men are absolutely not very good at it. But focus on one thing at a time. Remember the beam, the energizer beam, the laser beam. Yeah, I got there eventually. But remember that, and remember also when you are. Remember also where you are. Another way to look at that is if you use a magnifying glass when the sun's out, you use the magnifying glass and get a point on anything that can burn or even melt, and within a very short period of time, that sun rays focused in one point will make that burn or melt. The power of focus, it's all about the same. But what you need to, you might have heard about the film and the book The Secret by Rhonda Byrne. She talks about the power of attraction, which also talks into mind power, of course. But there is everything in the universe is governed by the law, as everything is cause and effect. And that is what you need to keep in mind when thoughts are real forces, because you are the cause of everything that happens to you. You might not like to hear that, because sometimes it's a bit hard to swallow, especially when things don't go your way, the way you want them to. But you are the cause. If you're an entrepreneur and things don't go well and you keep going in the same direction, it is you are the cause. That's why there is so much more about entrepreneurism. That's why you need to listen to all the different days, because it's all about teamwork. It's about maybe your finances, maybe your clients, maybe your organization or your customers, and maybe as an executive. But you need to know, you need to get to know so much, and you don't need to know it all because you just need to get started. But we are here to help you, provide that information for you. So who and what are you at this moment? Is an accumulation and conglomeration. I just threw a couple of big words in there. I have no idea what they mean, but I thought it looked nice. Of all the thoughts, actions, and circumstances that have happened to you so far. Thoughts become actions, actions become habits, and habits become your destiny. I talked into that with the power of habits, I think it was last week. But I talked into that already. But it is so powerful. Everything begins with a thought. So you create your reality. You create your reality by whom and what you are. Your energy and your vibration cause things to happen to you. The sooner you accept this, the sooner things will change for you. Now I just have to put the glass on to keep a little bit eye on my time, and I've got another whole minute and a half nearly before we have to go to the adverts for radio, of course. But when you actually take responsibility for your life, you can create the circumstances you want to happen to you. And as you change and alter your personal vibration, reality will change and alter to match this new vibration. Now, have I got time for a quick story? Oh, I might have to, yes. I'm going to tell you a quick story, because when you take responsibility for everything that happens in your life, you will gain immense power. I'm just a quick 30-second story, because this shows you what happens. I was in the shower. Yes, I do that every now and then, and here in South Africa. And I was actually thinking in the shower about I need to connect with somebody in Scotland. And hadn't heard from him for a while. It just came to me. Now, I finish my shower, walk into the kitchen, and my phone goes ping. A message. Guess who from? Coincidence? You decide. I know it isn't, but I mean, that vibration, it's like a phone. I will talk into that a little bit more as well when we come back. So don't go away, and join us at ibgr.radio. Join us in our social media, and we will see you in the next 3 minutes again. Take care.